Hey, what's up everybody? Lawler here, your inside source for all things Rocket League. Got a two-part video coming to you guys. The first one here is going to be talking about certain things that I put out in a tweet. Earlier today, I put out a tweet asking, what types of things from other games do you wish Rocket League would have? I said as an example, the creative mode for Fortnite, and you guys had a lot of replies. We also ended up talking about this with a lot of people from the community on my stream today, and today's video is going to be covering that. The second half of this, which will be next week, we'll be talking about how to fix Rocket League. If you guys don't remember, a bunch of months ago, I ended up putting out a video called How to Fix Rocket League, which is talking about a lot of the complaints that the community has had over an extended period of time, and talking about these are the types of things that we want. Out of that entire list, the number one thing that's come is free to play, but a lot of things still aren't here. So we'll be breaking that video down as kind of a look back at the end of the year to see a compare and contrast to how things have changed over the course of 2020. Also, last but not least, before we get into the video, in the description down below is my social medias. The number one you should be paying attention to is my Twitter, because today at 2:30 p.m. Central, there will be an announcement. So stay tuned for that. But with that said, let's get straight into the video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about other ideas from other games and other various titles, whether it be features or certain things that may not just be like a game mode, but sometimes a certain setting that they have, or a thing that has to do with smurfing, or any type of ideas that the community came up with about things that would be really nice to have in Rocket League. And I'm not talking about, well, this fun game mode, like this custom game mode hasn't been made yet, I would like this custom game mode. The all-encompassing feature of the game modes, creative custom game modes, that is an idea. So we're going to be talking about this, giving an example of other games and how they do it, and possibly how it can be beneficial for the Rocket League community. The one I'm going to start with first and most obvious is going to be a creative mode for both custom maps and training maps. Rather than doing the custom trainer that we have now, or the custom map stuff that we have to do through Baka's mod and everything else, the ability to just do this intrinsically in-game. And there's a lot of different things that come along with this. If you guys haven't seen it in other games, the ones that come to mind for me personally are StarCraft custom games from Brood War, or Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne. You've got Fortnite Creative, Halo Forge, basically custom map builders that give you the ability to then go and play it online. And the second half of that is the ability to do lobby support or private matches with that. For all of these games, something they have in common is it allows someone to create a peer-to-peer network, or a private server that people then with a username and password can go and search. For games like Counter-Strike, they even have a massive server list that you can search and find these custom maps. And a lot of people have the frustration of like, well, shoot, I don't have the map. And I get constant requests in the comments about what's the map code for things, because we have a lot of Fortnite people coming over. That stuff just doesn't exist for Rocket League, and it's unfortunate because that ease of use or that ease of access is really, really convenient. So having those kind of things in to make it super accessible, and if you don't have the map downloaded, when you join that private server, it automatically downloads it for you, and then it's super easy to play, whether you're on console or otherwise. Things like that would be a huge benefit, and is the number one most requested thing from pretty much everybody I talk to. Up next, with myself being an esports person and preferring to watch the esport rather than playing the game, there is a feature in Counter-Strike Global Offensive called HLTV. If you guys have never heard of HLTV, it is the all-in-one spectator client that Counter-Strike tends to use. That is actually in-game right now for Rocket League. If you want to watch the esport, in-game it says the esports is live. You click on the button and it pulls up a hyperlink to the Twitch page for twitch.tv/Rocket League, unless it's for like CRL or something else. What HLTV does is it allows you to view that in-game. So you never actually leave. You boot up Rocket League, esports is on, and that helps viewership a lot. If you're just queuing up to play some ranked or something, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shoot, what's this esports thing? You go into it, and this is how it works for Counter-Strike, and you have the ability to spectate and watch the matches while you're in-game. But it's what they do in addition to that. It's not just the fact that you can watch games in-game, but there's also things like a viewer pass, where you can pay a flat dollar amount, usually it's $10, and it gives you the capability for some additional features. One of those is being able to spectate the individual point of views of every single player who is playing. Imagine you pay $10 for this digital pass, whether you're watching a LAN or otherwise, and you have the capabilities to not only tune in and watch the current event that is going on, this most recently being NA Regional 2. So you pay $10 for NA Regional 2, which helps fund the prize pools and stuff in the future. But then you can watch every individual perspective. I can watch only Justin's perspective the entire weekend. I can only watch Squishy's perspective the entire weekend. I can see how Alpha 54 never misses a flip reset. I can watch his point of view in all of their matches for the entire event. And alongside that, I also have the ability to do predictions. They also do what's called Pickems, and based upon how well you perform in the Pickems, you have the ability to then earn skins and titles and other various things. The one thing that a lot of the pros were saying in chat when we were talking about this on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Lawler, link in the description, go check it out. I stream every day but Tuesday. But they want stickers and signatures for cars. Not only do you want the ability to put on any decal, but then also put a sticker of your team's logo on that car is a way to increase value as well as further support the brands that you enjoy. You can also do this with player signatures, where the players get some sort of kickback of revenue because it is obviously their individual, but you can put a signature on a specific car, or you can purchase that signature to put on a decal or whatever it may be, and it increases the value and just has that personal flair that you may be looking for. But back to the pick'em situation, this is a prediction-based thing where you are sitting there and you are predicting the results of the matches, and based upon how good or poor you do, you get really unique stuff, possibly like black market decals in our circumstance. This is how you get some of the best skins and most rare skins in the game for Counter-Strike. It's a way to get your community invested in the matches that are happening, and just like other things like fantasy football or whatever else, you're invested in matches that you normally wouldn't be. Another one that is actually kind of going back to the roots of SARP BC for Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars, or the predecessor to Rocket League, for those that don't know. Rocket League was originally actually supposed to be a Twisted Metal clone. For those that did not play Twisted Metal when they were kids, essentially it is, imagine taking Rocket League in a big battle arena, kind of like the Mario Kart battle mode or the Mario Kart battle area with the 3 balloons. There's a bunch of different power-ups and a bunch of different cars, and you basically are having a destruction derby with power-ups. That's what Rocket League was originally supposed to be when it was being made. Links to that documentary, if you guys want to see that kind of stuff, is down below. But having a battle mode, I think, would be really fun. You already have the core fundamentals of some of the fun things with rumble power-ups and everything else, but being able to make these a little bit more lethal, or having something like the Haymaker Punch actually target a person, or things like that, I think could be really cool in a unique way where skill shots come into play. That one was a little bit different for me just because it still applies to me as if it's kind of like something we've done where we've done like a team deathmatch kind of situation where we shoot like the ballistic ball at each other in a custom map with Lethmere in them. But a battle mode that could be fully fleshed out, I think, could be a really cool concept, which is ironically something enough that they were doing in early development until Adam Beckwith, one of the developers, ended up dropping the ball into their like arena, and it popped up this idea. One thing that I've been asking for a very long time, and not only was it the removal of solo standard, but replacing it with something called club queue. Right now we do have clubs in the game, and they're pretty much useless. It is a system that you make that is allowing you to have you and a couple other people identify with like almost like a clan tag. If you are part of a significant club, or if you're a pro team or whatever else, sometimes those get verified. Club queue would allow and require you to, in standard, queue as a team of 3. And the cool thing that they could do with this is there's a lot of different takes, but instead of playing one match in club queue, you would play a best of 3 or a best of 5, all depending on what rank you got. I think all the way down from bronze to maybe like diamond, you play best of 1s. And then when you get into champ and grand champ, you play best of 3s. Then when you get to supersonic legend or something, you play best of 5s. But right now, ranked is all on an individual level. It is entirely up to your own individual MMR. But the concept of playing and having a rank with a team, I think, would make it really popularizing for the actual playlist, because you're going to see pro teams that want to be the top of the leaderboards. I think this could be a really good way. Reddles was also talking about on stream about wanting to incorporate the field in some capacity. I think this could be the way to do it. If they had a club queue system built into the game, you make that the field, and then rather than having to do stuff through a Discord and a third party, you could run it through the game itself and enable people to then climb, and then the leaderboard stuff is already there for you. I think that'd be a really cool concept with promotion and demotion and the way that that would work out. But incorporating the field into the actual game with club queue and fully utilizing that system, I think would be amazing. Other games like League of Legends have done this, as well as many others, but the thing they do is you have to play X amount of matches at a rank and win those matches until you get the rewards that are given for that, so you can avoid boosting and smurfing and all that kind of stuff. Something that has been implemented and pretty much long forgotten by Psyonix is going to be functionable voice chat.
Pass it! Pass it over here, dude! Pass it!
Right now, Rocket League obviously suffers from a couple things when it comes to your teammates. Not being able to communicate effectively, not knowing if they're going for it or not, boost control, And a lot of people started recommending things like being able to see teammates on like a mini map, or things like knowing how much boost your teammates have. Another person suggested actually when you type need boost, it actually displayed in that quick chat how much boost you actually had. But there was a lot of different things like that that were recommended, but that can drastically change the way that Rocket League is played. High level players have this game sense, or their game IQ is increased because they're able to pick up that stuff without it. And if you incorporate that kind of stuff, it makes it possibly differ from that. So I'm kind of here and there on it, but I think we can all agree that having a voice chat that actually functions, and you can pick whatever game you want. This is, you know, anywhere from Overwatch to, I mean, go way back to stuff like Counter-Strike. They have a very functionable voice chat that works extremely well to where you can understand your teammates. And yes, this can get toxic. Again, you can't control everybody on the internet, but that's what the mute is. That's no different than people who are toxic now that type and say negative things. But having a voice chat, I think, was a really big deal to help increase the overall level of the player base. I know months ago, myself and Lethmir only tried to use the voice chat, and it was horrible. Something that coincides with the HLTV system is not just that, but also just an updated Spectator in general. Right now, Rocket League suffers from a couple things with only allowing X amount of people into the actual game lobby. You have 8 players total, 2 can spectate, and then you have 6 on the field. And the limitations that come with that is really unfortunate, because there's certain things that as a tournament organizer, otherwise, you want to give fun, unique camera angles. You want to have coaches have the ability to actually spectate, but those spots are all taken up. So coaches right now have to actually watch the broadcast on a delay. So updating the spectator and how many people can actually go in the lobby, I think, is a really big deal, or the ability to have more people spectate in general. You're also talking about the lack ability to see the boost of people. You have to use a modded thing, which is ironic in itself, because I know that Psionic's Spectator uses Baka's mod to view different angles and get some cool looks, but they're not willing to show boost meters or any of that kind of stuff on the main broadcast, because it is a direct showing of like a modded thing that's not built into their client. This is something that I've talked to their developers about. A lot of the casters have. It's stuff we've been asking for a very long time, but it still isn't here. It's still been in development, or it just hasn't happened yet. The only real update that's come is the director cam. But that is not really helpful to what I'm talking about. I want stuff like being able to see how much boost people have. I want to see a flip indicator so I know if a person hits a flip reset or not, so I don't have to speculate at it. Things like that, unique camera angles, hotkeys for fun, unique cameras, whether it be behind the goal or otherwise. A lot of things that Baka's mod initialize. If we want to even talk about that, all the features in Baka's mod, you can try to throw in, so it's just built into the game instead of a modded program. I think would make a huge difference. But the updated Spectator, I would love to see a Spectator update that enables certain things like better stat accuracy. Like, I remember playing today, I took a shot on target and I was like in the box and it doesn't count as a shot. It's like, why not? Going alongside of functional voice chat and a little bit of toxicity that come with it, a blacklist option in Call of Duty primarily is where I notice it when I queue for the Battle Royale with Warzone. If I go up against a hacker, I can report them and then block them. And when I go into join a lobby again, if that person that I have blocked and reported is in there, it will notify me that you have blocked said player, and I can cancel my queue before I get forced to queue with them again. Something like that I think would be really good for Rocket League, where if you're dealing with a toxic person or someone that you're just not aligning with and things aren't going well, rather than having to forcibly sit out yourself and kind of wait for the queue to pass in hopes that they re-queue, but being able to manually just say, hey, I don't want to play with this player, and it blacklists them from you, so you don't have to play with them, I think would be a really good idea. Another really cool one would be actually a custom decal creator. And this one you have to be a little bit careful of because people can get a little scary. But if you've ever watched a game like Forza or played something like that, their map decals and the ability to actually go in and customize certain things for decals, I think with how creative this community is, you could do some really cool stuff. I think this is partially, in fact, with the creative mode as well, or like something like the workshop where you have the ability to go and do stuff. Obviously, Bacchus mod enables these options as well, but having a custom decal creator, I think this community could really make some really awesome stuff. Psionic's could even possibly feature some of their favorites or do competitions or something like that to entice the community to make more and more. And it honestly, if they put in the hard work to code that, it would enable them to take less work long term. It's kind of a spend a lot of time now so you can have the payoff later, similar with the custom map situation. Alongside a custom editor, please give us like a color selection wheel so we can do like black and white as primaries, please. That'd be amazing. A fully fleshed out esports tab would be awesome as well. If you're talking about like having a full-blown spectator and all that kind of stuff I talked about with CSGO and HLTV, having a fully like spec'd out like esports tab would be amazing. League of Legends is probably the most common with this, but the ability to see player stats, records, archived replays of all the matches, And the number one thing is schedule. Right now, we all rely on Liquipedia for a schedule, but it would be amazing to go in game, click the esports tab, and in there you've got your favorite teams, their stats, the results from the series, when they play next, what the matches are coming up, like a one-stop shop for everything you need when it comes to esports. I think would be awesome to have that all built in with an API that's automatically updated, and the ability, which goes back to the HLTV thing, is while you're doing that, if there's a match going on, it'll say live next to it. You click on it, it opens up in your game, and then you're watching the games as well and spectating that way. I think things like that would be super cool if they could implement. Right now, the only time you can also check your MMR without using Baka's mod is if you're in Grand Champ or higher. It's built into the game. I don't know why they don't allow you to do a toggable MMR display, like turning on and off your MMR for those that just want to know, because a lot of people kind of know the arbitrary like number as to what it is to get to the next rank and what they're pushing for. I think being able to toggle that on as an individual would be really cool. This one probably not as popular, but one that I think would be kind of nice is a streamer mode or anonymous mode. In a lot of battle royales, obviously people get stream sniped and stuff. Being able to actually, when you're playing up against somebody else, to turn on streamer mode, so it just gives like player 1, player 2 as their names, rather than twitch.tv/other person who's trying to snipe you and get their publicity out there. This one's kind of a niche one, but for a lot of people streaming and otherwise, having that anonymity and that ability to hide so people don't know that they are sniping you or kind of getting into the same game as you would be ideal. This one came from somebody in chat that actually has a lot of focus on stats, but the ability to actually track your stats from season to season. Right now, all the stats in game are career based. It's for your entire profile. It'd also be really cool now that everything aligns on the cycle for season 1 or season 2, where Rocket Pass, competitive season, and all that kind of stuff are all in sync. I think it'd be really cool to have a career stat based upon how I did from season to season, if I'm improving with stats like, is my shooting accuracy getting better? Is my win rate getting better? Ways to kind of look back and see how you've progressed would be really cool. One, speaking of BRs, that I think would be really funny, I doubt they'll do this, but having a hot mic from when you demo somebody. If you guys haven't played battle royales or otherwise, primarily Call of Duty does this, but when you kill somebody, their mic opens so you can actually hear what they're saying if they do for like a couple seconds. So if they like rage or anything like that, you get a couple blips of it and then it cuts them off. I think that would be hilarious. I can imagine people like Woody and like Rocket Sledge just laughing as they constantly demo people, and they just hear the hot mic every once in a while of people being angry. Something like that I think would be hilarious. Not necessarily features from other games, but I do think that some things like the preset management for car designs and everything else are things that could be built further upon. Right now, it is really difficult to arrange your presets and kind of have a preview of stuff. And it would be really cool as well if like you're in a party, kind of like WoW, where when you're next to people in WoW, you can inspect them and see what their loadout is. I think if you were in a party with somebody like WoW, and you had the ability to like click on their name and click inspect, you could see their car and what each kind of item was. I think would be a really cool idea, and just a small little thing that just adds to appreciation of the cosmetics that Sonic's put so much time into. A couple other people recommended some fun systems. Whether I agree with them or not, I don't think is the point, but wants to bring up a daily login system like mobile games or gacha systems and stuff, where every time that you play consistently, you end up getting a reward, whether it be a credit or a rare decal or something like that would be kind of cool. Someone also recommended a reputation system like League of Legends, where after the matches in League of Legends, you can have an honor system where you talk about whether they were a great teammate or they kept themselves cool under pressure or things like that. And then for the people that have a bunch of negative votes to them, it puts them against other negative people rather than like dealing with bans and reports. They're just forced to be all toxic together somewhere else. One that we talked about, which would be really cool, is something that I deemed Rocket League racing. A lot of people have watched myself, Lethmere, and others play on the custom racetracks. The difficulty is the vehicle physics don't really translate to those tracks. It doesn't really work. This isn't something that I think they should put in game. If anything, they should use the IP of Rocket League and completely make another game called Rocket League Racing. And it's essentially a Mario Kart or like a Crash Bandicoot Team Racing clone, but with Rocket League IP. I think it would be super cool. They've already got the Rumble situation all figured out, but obviously make the items so they make a little bit more sense the other way. And then kind of go from there. Another really cool thing, if we're talking about like game stuff, would actually be a physical campaign. Obviously, I don't know what the heck the campaign would be, but a lot of us since the beginning have been wondering what the heck is the lore of Rocket League? Why is it egg people? What is going on the field? If they did a campaign update and we actually got to find out the lore of Rocket League, I would lose my mind. These are some quality of life things I think would be cool. One is for maps like Neo Tokyo or Champions Field or otherwise, they have announcers, primarily Champions Field. This would be something to kind of give back to the RLCS casters like Shogun and stuff, where they bring those guys into a voice recording session. They have them record some lines, have some flair that's unique to them, and then do what's called announcer packs. These are really popular in StarCraft 2. It's a cool way to kind of give back to the casters other than just, you know, hey, you guys cover our esport. Plus, it's a cool way for people that have fallen in love with your esport to be able to support their favorite commentators as well. But also like a more fleshed out Rumble menu. Right now, when you go into Rumble, you can obviously select between whether spikes only or civilized or whatever it may be. I think it'd be really cool if the menu just had all the power-ups and you could check which ones you wanted to be in that match when you create a lobby or not. I think that'd be a really cool concept. The ability to choose how strong or how long the cooldown is on an individual, like with a slider, or like if you have the magnet, you can make it really, really strong or really weak. You can make the haymaker punch actually hit really light. But a lot of really cool things that if you had more manipulation on the Rumble selection, as well as just more power-ups in general, I think it'd be cool to have a Rumble power-up second iteration come out. Another system that a lot of people suggested is a refund system for accidental purchases. If you end up buying the wrong decal or the wrong skin within X amount of time, you have the ability to refund it and get your money back so you don't make that mistake. Kind of like a failsafe system, which is just kind of a nice quality of life thing. And then the last but not least thing, and this is something that I haven't seen in too many done, but I know PUBG actually does it pretty well, is a content creator item or decal shop where they collaborate with a content creator or someone that is very well known in their community. Obviously, they have the community flags, but the ability for Sunless to like design a decal or wheels or something, and then you can go and purchase it and support it, and he gets some of it, and then Psyonix gets some of it, I think would be a really cool touch. That is going to wrap it up for this video. This is part 1 as a reminder. Part 2 will be kind of a looking back on the how to fix Rocket League video I put out, as well as seeing a compare and contrast of things that have happened and where we are now as compared to the things that I mentioned in that video. So stay tuned for that. But if you guys enjoy the content and want to make sure you don't miss out on that video, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications, as well as making sure to give the video a like. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or some cool ideas of your own, drop those in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them, and maybe we'll make a part 2 of this. If we get something ridiculous like 1,000 likes on this video, maybe we'll make a part 2 with some of your guys' suggestions and kind of long form talk it and see if they would be viable or not. That is going to wrap it up for me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.